Hello and welcome back. This is the last and final video for Moon Wisdom, my most recent workbook on working with the moon. And it is for the dark moon. And the dark moon is an important time to recognize, which is often not recognized. The dark moon is not an astronomical phase. It is an energetic, a spiritual, and an astrological phase. So it's not recognized by scientists, unless they're spiritual scientists, of course. Although it is a very spiritual time, just as when the moon is in its full illumination and everything is feeling bright and energetic and full. When the moon is dark and not visible to us, it's the inverse of that. So it is the internal world is letting go of tiny deaths. It is at its lowest energetic point. It's needing rest and recovery and a lot of time for processing and thinking. You'll notice I talk about that a lot throughout the entire cycle. That's because it's super important to be doing that all of the time. We always need to be thinking and processing. But specifically with the dark moon, we really need to take that time to look inward and feel inward, because it is very likely, especially for women who might be menstruating at this time, which most women on the planet will be menstruating over a dark moon. This is when you're going to be feeling at your most low, at your lowest energy. You might be having a crisis of self, experiencing some sadness, some depression. A lot can be going on in this time, and it is literally a dark moon at the time that I am filming this, and I can say I am experiencing some of those symptoms for myself right now. So as much as I am aware and processing constantly and really staying in touch with myself and my own spirituality, I still go through this cycle with the moon. So every dark moon I kind of go within, internalize a little bit, and start to think and process about the things that I'm unhappy with about myself, or things that I might be feeling self-conscious about. There's so many different things that can be going on at this time. So kind of like a crisis of self, a dark night of the soul, if you're familiar with that term, which is essentially just saying a day or an evening of depressed feelings, and some kind of crisis of self, maybe due to external reasons or internal reasons. It can be either or. So the dark moon, this is only one night, and it's not included in the split up of the moon cycle. You'll notice throughout the book I split up all the moon cycles energetically into about 3.5 days per cycle. This is not included in that. This is just kind of like a little extra bit. So this is the night before the new moon. So this is the night before that tiny little sliver comes through and shows us the light and shows us the rebirth of the moon cycle. And so the dark moon is the death of the moon cycle. And through this death, we take everything that we've learned from this cycle and we solidify it. Whether that was bringing stuff in with the waxing phase, with our new moon intentions, or releasing it through the waning and through our full moon releases. So this is the time when we truly allow the death and say goodbye to those full moon releases. So whatever it was that we were releasing, this is kind of like our final goodbye. We want to feel all those feelings, feel the death of those small parts of ourselves, and so that we can move on fresh into the new moon cycle. And though we're feeling this dark night of the soul tonight on the dark moon, tomorrow when the new moon comes out, we are slowly going to be feeling that invigoration, that excitement, those ideas flow in, those intentions come in. What is it that we're trying to create? We start to feel all those good feelings again. But when we feel those bad feelings, it's important to be with those. We don't want to be with them for years, but if we can give it this one dark night, this one dark moon, and really be with those feelings and allowing ourselves to feel them so that we can move fully forward. So in your Moon Wisdom workbook, I have included a very simple banishing ritual. And this banishing ritual, you can literally banish anything that you want, physical, non-physical, external, internal, whatever it is that you want. You can use this ritual as often as you want. I'm introducing it over the dark moon because this is the time when we say our final goodbye. So we are banishing, we're letting it go completely. And so there is that ritual in here, as well as a nice review of the passing cycle as it is happening. So what do we need to remember for our dark moon is that we need to feel all of our feelings, acknowledge our feelings, saying our final farewell to the cycle, to our full moon releases, and also staying in the energy of the balsamic moon. We want to stay in a blank meditative state and just allowing the mind to rest and stay calm as much as possible. So yeah, that is Moon Wisdom. That is our final phase of this cycle of the moon, which the one that we started with was in Cancer, which is really interesting. If you're watching this at the time that I'm making it, we started in a new moon in Cancer, and we're also ending in a new moon in Cancer, and that doesn't happen very often, but the same applies. So it's the same kind of ideas. A new moon in Cancer is a lot about our emotional state, which really feeds into our dark moon as well. And so this is the time when we really want to organize our home and reconnect with the people that are most important to us, our friends, our family, and organizing at home. And yeah, just solidifying everything in our immediate atmosphere, in this atmosphere that we create a haven for ourselves. So that is Moon Wisdom. Thank you so much for joining me throughout this journey. I am so proud of this workbook, and I hope that you have truly enjoyed it. Feel free to contact me to ask me any questions or to touch base and let me know how your experience was. The website is wildmoonsacredcycles.com, and the email is wildmoonsacredcycles@gmail.com. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. See you, moon lovers.